Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say good evening to all of you, depending on which country or continent you belong to. My name is Martin Petigo, and once again, I'm before you. We're getting to the end of Black History Month, and as you know, we try as much as possible to remind ourselves of what our forefathers did for this great country. Today, we're going to have a special person in our midst, and today's theme is Black History is American history. Today I have somebody special. I wouldn't call her a youth, but she belongs to this generation, very dynamic person. And I'm so excited I'm interviewing her because I can foresee her carrying this mantle and then passing it on to the generation after us. This very person that I have come to love and to respect is called Daniel Pico. Daniel Pico is a dedicated director of healthcare analyst with a decade of experience in the field. Currently residing in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, a graduate of Spelman College, and then a New York, sorry, a graduate of Spelman College and New York University. She is originally from Long Island in New York. She has been an active member of Second Baptist Church of Doylestown for over 10 years, wow, where she found a second family and a source of spiritual strength. In her spare time, she enjoys spending time with her friends, family, her loved cat, Jack, David, and then indoor plants. And then Daniel also is a social media analyst. Let's welcome Daniel. This program was recorded yesterday, unedited, recorded live. We're going to be having, I'm going to be having a conversation with Daniel. Please, let's receive Daniel. Um, Viewers, I want to say good evening to you or good day or good morning, depending on which country you belongs to. Today's another wonderful moment, and we are still in the Black History Month season. We're almost getting to the climax of it. And today we are so fortunate, blessed, wonderful to have a special sister who have come to love and to respect. Um, and today she's with us. I guess you've listened to her bio. An ex-student of Spelman College. She went to New York University. She's a graduate, and then she works on Facebook sometimes, you know. And then her name is Pico Danielle. Danielle Pico,
Hello.
I am so excited to have you on the show this very
I'm
moment.
excited to be here.
And then we know we are in a Black History Month,
Yeah.
and today you have something to share with us. I am so excited because I've been dealing with professors and then the old school guys, but this trip I'm dealing with the generation.
Okay.
And we all know how Black History Month started, cartoon movies, and then I'm so excited that you in this new generation have taken this mantle up and you want to fortify it so that the generation after you will have something to say. So today, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
What is Black History Month when it comes to you, your generation?
Ooh.
What is Black History
Taking time to pause and reflect and learn about our history and celebrate our history and really just enjoy it, cherish it, create traditions, celebrate traditions, spend time with family,
Month?
spend time learning about Black history because oftentimes in America, we don't learn about it in our day to day. So, like, really being intentional about partaking in the Black culture.
I like the word. Being intentional simply means
Yeah.
that deliberately, learning Black
Hmm.
History Month. So, you personally, if you have to um, celebrate Black History Month, how do you go about it?
So my family actually does like Zoom chats with each other. So like on Saturdays. So in the past we've done our own like trivia games of we create our own trivia questions and see who can get the most questions right and the winner gets a prize. Um, so my family has done that in the past. This year for myself, I've been watching a lot of movies.
Okay.
I like a lot of history stuff.
Wow.
So like the biopics about like Black historical characters.
Okay.
I really enjoy that sort of thing.
Wow. Can you give me two examples of a Black History Month movie? Oh, no, a history movie that you've watched that's very captivating.
Let's see. So I recently watched the Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
Right, right, right. I really
Hi,
want to know.
Jack.
And a lot of people are talking about Martin Luther King and this and Malcolm X, and it's like they are two different personalities.
Yeah.
Tell me what you saw.
So they're never really in the same scene together, but it's not a spoiler, but at the end you sort of are able to reflect on them, and
Mhm.
you see that they actually had a lot in common. They were both very dedicated to their separate religions. Martin Luther King was Christian, and Malcolm X was Muslim. They were both family men. So throughout their stories, you get to see how they met their wives, when they become fathers, and how
Right,
they, behaved with their kids and stuff.
right,
And they were both super dedicated to the Black community, even though
right,
they went about it in different ways. Um, I think they're both really inspirational.
right. Tell me about. Have you visited any of the museums around?
Oh, so have you ever been to there's a Black History Museum in Philadelphia?
I'm yet to. I'm yet. I think I needed to visit there before at the end of this whole season, which is next week. I needed to give me a jig of it.
Yeah, so that one's pretty cool. It has like screens where you can like walk around and it's like life size and you click play and the different historical characters speak to you and they tell you like who they are and the role that they played because Philadelphia is just a very historic
Okay.
city. And so it plays a really important role in Black history as being like a northern city that, enslaved people were trying to get to because if you were here, then you had a chance at freedom.
Oh, wow. Viewers watching us from Africa and other countries, I'm having a discussion with our own sister Danielle. Um, and today we are just talking about Black History Month from her perspective. She belongs to this generation, and they are they are handling the mantle now. And what they do today will also what they do today or what decisions they take today concerning Black History Month is going to affect the generation that's going to come after us. Tell me much about um, the African Museum in Washington. I haven't been there yet. I've seen the building. I've driven
It's
past. I
beautiful.
haven't. Tell me, give me a little jig about it.
It's so,
Today we are having a discussion. A
yeah. So I
conversation.
went a couple years ago,
Right.
and from Philadelphia, it's just a train right down. Just a day trip, me and my aunt,
Mhm.
and it's beautiful. It's like several stories tall, and
Right.
there's parts of it that are underground, and then there are parts of it that are above ground, and
Right.
it sort of takes you through the history of Black culture, starting in the lower floors with um, the enslaved people,
Right.
and the history of coming from Africa to America.
Mhm.
And as you go up, it actually becomes like more open, more light, and it takes you through to the accomplishments of Black culture through slavery, through civil rights, through Jim Crow,
Wow.
to the accomplishments that Black people have accomplished in music, in
Right.
agriculture, in the arts, in the military,
Right.
in medicine, just, very diverse. So you can't even see the whole thing in one day. It's definitely like a multi-day trip. So I don't know. If you want to make a trip out of it, Martin, we can go back. We should do a church trip, really.
Oh, put it across, and then I will see what happens. Just
Yeah, that's a great
I think
idea.
it would be a good thing We should all plan something, not necessarily on Black History Month, but it should be a day trip that would take quite a
Yeah.
weekend. And yeah, I would like to go visit there,
They have
especially.
restaurants in there too. The
Wow,
food's
that's
really
right.
good.
Tell me about what's your favorite food?
I enjoy soul food because I don't cook it, so
Okay,
I try to enjoy it as much as possible.
I my favorite food is ripe plantain with black eyed peas. Now here, for, yeah. So viewers, Danielle is still with us. Danielle, we're going to be talking about. I understand there are so many other countries that are engaged also in Black History Month. We have the UK's, etc., etc. Can you throw a little more light
Yeah, so for Black History Month at work, we actually were looking to engage different groups and talk about intersectionality of Black culture.
on that?
And I actually learned from my colleagues in the UK that they have Black History Month as well, but they celebrate it in October, which I thought was really interesting. And the origins of their Black History Month are actually from a Ghanaian refugee who started Black History Month in October. And the reason for October was because it's back to school season. People are like more refreshed and ready to engage. And also historically, October was a month that the African leaders got together to sort of make decisions.
Right,
And so it's really interesting to hear about the history from that perspective. It was something that I had never really thought about. I always think of Black History Month as being February because I'm American.
right,
So it was nice to learn something new from my colleagues.
right, right. Oh, in your submission, you did mention of a Ghanaian who started it up. Did I hear myself right? In the UK.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you throw a little more like a Ghanaian? Wow, you know I'm a Ghanaian too.
Yeah. So I think that's really cool. Someone who was from Ghana and who was living in the UK and saw what was happening around him in the UK and was like, wait a minute, I need to help the Black community here in the UK
Mhm.
have pride about when they're asked, where are they from? There's no shame of being African or from Africa or of African descent. So I thought that was really interesting and something new that I learned just this year.
Right. You know, one interesting thing about um, African American and then the Africans, it's like we are we are your cousins.
Hmm.
We are your cousins. And one thing I do try to inquire from some African Americans that how connected are they to the African continent?
Mm.
Meaning, you deliberately making an effort to be connected to your ancestry. And I know here in the United States we have this ancestral.com where people go in there to have a trace, um, Asian, African, German. And
Hmm.
tell me, I mean, have you done yours? Have you looked into your ancestral.com?
Yeah, so my mom actually did the swab test where you like do it your cheek swab
Yeah,
and you send it in and they tell you a little bit about like your heritage of where you're from.
right,
And then I did ancestry.com to sort of trace back on my dad's side
right,
because as an African American you don't really know oftentimes where you're from.
right,
And so thought that that was really cool to sort of connect back to Africa specifically.
right,
And I don't remember the countries that came up on my mom's, ancestry DNA swab, but it was, Western Africa.
Western.
And I think when we saw the results, I mean, we were excited to see the results, of course, because we
Excited.
had no
I like
idea.
that. Excited.
Excited, yeah, because we knew our history back to slavery,
Mhm.
and then we didn't know much beyond that. And so seeing where our heritage is, it made you feel a little bit more complete. I don't know, it's hard to describe.
Yeah.
There's always this missing part for so many African Americans. There's a missing piece,
Right.
um, and so there's a lot of pride and I think most people have a desire to be able to trace back. I remember being in college in Atlanta, and there was I guess I don't know what country she was from, a woman, an African woman who ran one of the shops there, and she was
Yes.
really good at telling the African Americans, like she could look at you and say like, "Oh, your ancestors are from this country." I don't know how true it was,
Was
but
it
people would
superstition
like,
or what?
I don't know. I don't know. But people were like excited to go and like talk to her because there's something about having a missing link and then being
Yes.
able to sort of connect the dots that just makes you feel a little bit more complete.
Right. Well, Africa is a it's a continent with so many countries
Mhm.
and so many countries, and I know for now most people know about Kenya because of the wildlife there. South Africa because they just had their independence, and then
Mhm.
Nigeria, in West Africa because of soccer. Ghana, Senegal, yeah. So, are you planning to visit Africa? I mean, definitely. Tell me something.
Yeah. So our church went to South Africa and they
Oh.
said it was so beautiful.
Hmm.
But I've always been interested, like I said earlier, I really am a history buff.
Right.
And so the castle that's on the western coast of Africa, I think it's in Ghana,
In Ghana, yeah,
where it
Cape
was like sort
Coast.
of that last place where a lot of slaves would, the last piece of Africa or home that they saw. I
Right.
would love to go back and visit that and just like have a full circle moment because the history that's there and to just feel, I'm sure, the presence of what it must be like to stand on those grounds where so many people didn't know what was going to happen next. I would just love to go there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you should. Obama was in Ghana with the kids, and then
Yeah,
the
I
new
think there's a
mayor.
plaque. They're recognizing Obama there.
Yeah, yeah, there's a plaque over there. And then the new mayor of New York, before he assumed his position, he traveled to Ghana to go and then pay homage to the ancestors. I mean, visited some secret places
Hmm.
and washed his feet. And then, Maya Angelou I was in Ghana by then when Maya Angelou came over to Ghana too. A lot of Steve Wonder has been to Ghana. One was in Ghana recently in 2018. Yeah, Steve Harvey was there too. Stevie Wonder.
Yeah,
Yeah, So it's like it's home. And I'm so excited that it's part of your chalkboard to visit Ghana. All right, Martin Luther King also visited Ghana when Ghana was
yeah,
having their
for sure.
independence. Yeah, he was there too. So, so Black History Month. We are still back
I
on
think
Black
there's a
History Month.
there's a longing for African Americans to go back to Africa.
Yes.
I think there's just like a piece of us that when we go there, we feel a little bit more complete.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's just like the Muslims who say they they had to visit Saudi Arabia once in their lifetime. I believe
Hmm.
now African Americans must also do the same. And that's the beginning. That's the root of all things. That's where life started from. In Africa. You know, and so if you visit Ghana, we're going to give you an African name. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll add it to we'll add it to Danielle.
Okay. Names are
Daniel,
important.
yes, Daniel. Which day were you born? I'm talking about Monday, between Monday to Friday.
Sunday, a Sunday.
Oh, yes. So I can give you a name right now.
Okay.
AC.
Essie?
AC is for if you are born on Monday. If you are born on Sunday, then AC. But in Africa, we have
Okay.
so many tribes, and thousands of dialects. You know, AC means a name for Sunday borns in a different dialect. At another dialect, it can be a different name. So it all depends on which area of Africa you adopt as your motherland or something. Yeah. So it looks
Got
like
it.
you are
That's
drifting
really
from
cool.
Blackish. Are you enjoying the program today? I said we are having a conversation.
Yeah.
So, which African food have you ever tried?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever tried. No, I have from church where we have
Some jollof,
our
right?
Black history.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Jollof, right? Yes, yes,
yeah,
jollof. Yeah, and then some black eyed peas, right? There is this competition between
yes.
the Nigerians and the Ghanaians about jollof. I think you've heard about that.
I don't know if I have heard about that, of whose meal is better.
Google it. Yes, and you get the information. Um, you love pets. You love
I
pets.
do.
Yes, and you have
I love cats.
a cat, and his name is
Yeah.
Jack, and your best friend.
Yes.
Yes, and
Yes.
then I just want to say that I'm so excited to have you on the show, and this is not going to be your last and your end, but I know you're going to be coming over again, and we'll talk more about other aspect of your life and your discipline. I
Okay.
also want to conclude by saying that we are proud of you. Um, you are cousins. We are cousins.
Yeah.
Something happened, and then you guys ended up at the other side, but God knows why. And
Mhm.
Carlton, Wilson, Martin Luther King, and all our forefathers and brothers in the civil rights struggle are trying to put all the pieces together. It's our time now to put the pieces together. I was born in Africa and I've migrated to the United States. When I come in contact with my cousins like you, I I feel some kind of belonging, and
Mm.
I understand the struggle more
Mm.
than knowing about the African American struggle from the continent of Africa. What we read in books, they are edited. But when I started getting in contact with you, your family, and the African American community, it changed my perception and my scope, and I begin to
Oh wow.
appreciate what the struggle that people have gone through and how you guys have emerged out of it and become a beacon, a light. America is not the light of the whole world. And, Black history is an American history. You can never have an American history if the Black history is removed. Impossible. So Black history is an American history. What do you say? It looks like
No, I agree. I actually have a T-shirt that says that you can't tell the American story without including Black people, Black history.
right.
We were there from the beginning.
Yeah. We're here before they came.
That part too.
All right. So Daniel, I know the show was supposed to be 45, but it looks like it's going to be almost about 35. What have you got to tell your viewers all over the world, especially in African? They should look up, they should expect you in Africa, maybe in the next before the next 5 years or something. Mhm.
Let's say 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You want to go to Africa? There is a tourist group. I'll later send you their email.
Okay.
I would prefer that if you have to visit Africa, you should go with a tourist group where
Yeah.
you can hit it running within 2 weeks. You travel the whole of, especially maybe Ghana or Nigeria or Cameroon. The excited places, the historical places. But if you go personally on your own, you will not really, really appreciate the trip. But you should go with a tourist group. Um, my website is going to be ready from next week, and then
Okay.
I'll share it, and then you can go there and then look for some of these stories group and then affiliate yourself with them. You know, a visit and the
Yeah. Hit off on the
horizon. Hmm.
historical sites because I really like history.
Yeah.
Um, so that sounds exciting.
Right. What about Egypt? What do you know about Egypt? Egypt is in Africa.
Yes. So
Yeah.
in elementary school, we learn about ancient civilizations and you learn about Egypt, but they don't really focus that it's in Africa. They just focus on Egypt. But we do learn about that part in elementary school.
Right.
Um, so yeah, go ahead.
So when the church went to South Africa,
Mhm.
they saw skyscrapers, right?
Mhm.
They didn't see trees.
Mhm.
They didn't see monkeys on trees.
Yeah.
They saw skyscrapers. Sometimes
Yeah.
when you Google Nairobi at night, you might think you are in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And
No,
and and, and
I've seen pictures.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And that's what we are going to be doing. We are going to be showing the beautiful side of Africa. You know, for some years now, the media has has created a kind of some imagination into the minds of people. We're trying to erase all these things. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right. I think
yeah,
that people who sort of know better. Um, but there are still a lot of negative perceptions or just like incorrect perceptions of what Africa is. Um, so and I think that that's something that we're trying to demystify with celebrating Black History Month, or like teaching and instilling in our kids um, what the truth is, because there are a lot of untruths, and the untruths always tend to be about Black people, wherever they're from, and so demystifying and really teaching the truth of what we are is really important.
right. All right. I want to say thank you so much, Daniel, and God bless you. And then I'll have you back on the show.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks so much for having me, Martin.
Thank you too. God bless you. Ladies and
Bye.
gentlemen, that was Danielle, our guest for today's show. We just had a conversation. She explained to us as an individual how she will celebrate her Black History Month, and then try to find out from her what is her perception towards Africa. And you heard it for yourself. The next 2 or 3 years, she'll find herself in Africa, and I am so excited. As I said, learning about the African American experience from a distance will not make you to really appreciate who these great people are. But by the grace of God, when I came into the United States, I'm making their community my community. I have really come to appreciate them, and then to understand the struggle and see how God has emerged them out. Danielle is a graduate. She was in Spelman College and also New York University, and she works. Danielle, you said you have a job on Facebook, right? Did I see that on the bio?
Yeah, I do social media research for healthcare industries.
Would like a trail to
Um,
light on that?
yeah, so helping our clients to better understand what patients and doctors are saying about their brands on Facebook, Instagram.
Right.
There's doctors on TikTok who
Yeah.
are trying to educate others on their diseases. You know, there are some diseases that, you know, tying it back to Black History Month, there are some conditions and diseases that impact African Americans, or people of African descent differently. So there's a need for Black doctors to be the face of that, to educate Black patients, to be the face of that and educate. Because oftentimes, like for diabetes, for cholesterol,
Wow.
for breast cancer, prostate cancer is another one, our experience is different.
Wow.
So advocating for clinical trials that feature us,
Wow.
so that the medicines that are approved work on us and have an impact on us. So that's something that I'm really passionate about.
Wow. So passionate about it. You love your job.
I do. That's fun, right? When you don't dread it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, viewers, you heard it all for yourself. That is Sister Danielle Pico. And then I'm going to be having Danielle back on this show. The other day we spoke, we're going to do something together. We're going to have Jack on the show.
My cat.
Yes, yes, yes. We're going to have a cat show. No, so please just stay tuned for our next episode. My name is Martin PICOU, and I'm streaming live from Pennsylvania. And
Dr. Taisha Dupree Wilson, track assistant.
so that was a short interview I had with Danielle yesterday night, a recorded program. Please stay tuned. More of this will be coming. And as I said, the song in the background is coming from a friend of mine in Belgium. He deliberately gave me this song for a program like this. And God bless you all for spending time with us. My name is Martin PICOU, and I'm streaming live from Pennsylvania. Until our next time, God bless you.
Lenya glogala, na le conduire à chier. Menenya shisala, chier au trône de taille. Nous amado, qu'on lit que le diable nous en a la gueule. Nous amado, qu'on lit que le diable nous en a la gueule. Nos amado, qu'on lit que le diable nous en a la gueule. Nous amado, qu'on lit que le diable nous en a la gueule. Ben nous amado, qu'on lit que le diable nous en a la gueule. Nous amado, qu'on lit que le diable nous en a la gueule. Lenya glogala, na le conduire à chier. Ameinenya shisala, ushie au trône de taille. Nous amado, qu'on lit que le diable nous en a la gueule. Nous amado, qu'on lit que le diable nous en a la gueule. Yovo mutu ajode ba joye twenye dagonia. Africa nous a chier twenye dagonia. Yovo mutu ajode ba joye twenye dagonia. Africa nous a chier twenye dagonia. Nous amado, on y le terre nous yo wonai. Bébé nous amado, on y que le terre nous wona la gueule. Nous amado.